Hello everybody and welcome. I've decided to do this short series on ego. It's going to be titled Ego, Your Secret Best Friend. And in this series, we're going to be understanding what exactly is ego and how does it express itself. Is it bad for you? Is it good for you? Under what circumstances is it bad? Under what circumstances is it good? And how can you get a grip on it? What is it there for? How can you use it? Can you make use of your ego to improve your life? That's the big question over here. So I'm just going to search for the term ego and let's see what definition comes up. It says over here, ego is a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. So ego is a sense of self-esteem or self-importance. It's a very vague definition. Let's break it down. Let's get a better understanding of what exactly it is. You might have enough awareness of your own self to understand that you are egoistic in some situations, or you might have observed egoistic responses from others, or you might have heard people telling, oh, this person is very egoistic, or don't let your ego take control of you, etc., etc. There are so many things going around about ego and how it's bad for us and we should not have an ego and all these things. So let's go by what we have seen so far. Ego seems to make people be very mean or very competitive, and all sense of love, compassion seems to go out of the window when ego kicks in. And you very likely have seen this. If you're an adult, you would have definitely seen this, either within yourself or in somebody around you. So let's have an understanding of what it is. Now, as it says here, Google says ego is a sense of self-esteem or self-importance. I'm going to take it a step further. Everybody has something called as a sense of self. Now, the sense of self, whenever it seems to be hurt, we have this mechanism called ego which kicks in and tries to resolve the situation in some way, which ends up with us feeling better about ourselves. Let's take an example. Suppose I have a friend who scored better in his exams, or is doing better in his career or in her career than me. Now, whenever I think of these topics, a mechanism activates inside of me and says, oh no, but you are doing this better, you're doing that better, and somehow tries to come to the conclusion that you are better than that person. And that conclusion helps me feel better about myself. I'm sure there are mechanisms inside you as well, such chains of thought, which will always try to get you to be a winner in whatever competition. The ego kicks in, whatever comparison is going on, and the ego kicks in. Its job is to help you feel like a winner. Now, in a way, if you look at it, the ego is really trying to help you to feel better about yourself. So the question comes, why is that mechanism so harsh and so rapid in its onset, and what is it? I mean, everything we do in ego seems to have negative consequences in so many places. Now, ego is a mechanism which helps you protect your sense of self. What do I mean by that? This mechanism kicks in whenever you feel your sense of self getting smaller, your sense of self diminishing, going down. Now, what does this mean? Go through your memories and see whenever your ego is kicked in, whenever you behaved rashly, whenever you've gotten angry at somebody for trying to make you feel small, or whenever you feel sad, and there are mechanisms you have to make yourself feel better about yourself. That means your desire is for your sense of self to grow or to expand, to become bigger. I hope you are able to understand this. We all have this sense of self, of who we are. And whenever any situation comes up where the sense of self is being squashed, or you're made to feel small, you're made to feel weak, you're made to feel like you're not valued, this sense of this sense of ego kicks in and tries to prevent your sense of self from diminishing, sense of self from becoming smaller. I hope you are able to understand this, and I hope you are able to relate to this. This means that the ego is actually trying to help you. It's trying to help you to grow. It's trying to help you to be better. It's trying to help you to expand your sense of self. Now, the big question comes, how are you going to expand your sense of self in an amazing way? Let's do that in a beautiful way. Let's do that. But before we go into that, I'll go into that in the next video. Here we're going to talk about how not to expand your sense of self. One classic, not a good way of expanding your sense of self is trying to control others, telling others what to do, what not to do, and getting angry at others, getting upset with others, and controlling them in any way. You didn't do this, so I'm angry at you. You didn't do that, so I'm upset with you. I'm not going to talk to you. All these things. One classic way. Why? Because that person has not done something, so it's triggered a mechanism in you saying you are not valuable to that person, and the ego kicks in and comes up with an abusive behavior by which you manipulate a person into behaving the way you want them to behave, to control or to have the outcome that you want. And because of this, the other person is also going to have a diminished sense of self, and the ego will manifest in them in a different way or the same way. The situation might become, there might be a conflict over there. You might have an argument, or that person might become very quiet and withdrawn and might not talk back to you properly, and the relationship might get spoiled because of this. How many relationships have you seen that have been spoiled because of ego? It's all this. It's all this mechanism of trying to make yourself feel better, but the way this is achieved by pulling others down is a flawed mechanism. It's not a sustainable mechanism. The other way ego expresses itself, or people become egoistic about, are their possessions. So I might possess a lot of things and say, oh my God, I'm such a powerful person and this and that has a sense, that inflates the sense of self. The moment you start losing possessions, your sense of self diminishes and the ego kicks in. So yoga defines ego in, there are 4 parts of ego, or 4 types of ego. So this is called Vishesha, Abhishesha, Linga Matra and Alinga. So Vishesha tries to make you feel special. Ego kicks in and tries to make you feel special. The Avishesha, so let's get to the Avishesha and Alinga later on. Let's look at the Vishesha and the Linga Matra in the first part right now. So Vishesha tries to make you feel special. So it is a mechanism where you try to make yourself feel special and thereby expand your sense of self. Now Linga Matra is where you have a lot of possessions. You attach your sense of self to the amount of possessions you have, or the amount of money you have, the amount of control you have around on the things around you. And the more control you have and the more possessions you have and the more money you have, your sense of self will expand and grow bigger. On the opposite of that, so let's say for example you start losing all of your possessions and you don't know what's happening, you can't seem to get it back, and because of this your sense of self starts to diminish and you see no quick way of getting your possessions back. So what happens is you grow detached to things, where you start saying, oh no, I'm not interested in possessions, I want to give up all my richness and live like a monk, and I'm not attached to anything, I don't want anything in my life, no comforts, this and that. This is a hidden part of ego, and this is often portrayed as spirituality, but it is not. The same goes with Abhishesha. You start feeling like you're absolutely useless, nobody values you, I'm better off alone, I don't want anybody, I don't want any social life, I don't, I want to go live in the Himalayas, or like, in some forest, I want to go spend time in some forest and I don't want anybody around me, etc., etc. The mechanism there is that nobody values me, so I'll go away from them. When they miss me and they value me, they'll only contact me, or something like that. Unfortunately, these two are hidden traps in the mechanism of ego, which a lot of people don't see. People only notice the aggressive sides of ego. People do not notice the spiral, the downward spiral part of the ego. So these two are traps which we have to be really careful about. And the reason I'm saying that we have to be really careful about these things and we've got to keep a very vigilant eye on these things is, they'll sneak up on you. You won't even notice it. It's very simple. Say suppose you and your friend haven't spoken to each other for a few days and your friend has not called you. What's going to happen? The normal way would be message or call the friend and say, hey, are you doing okay? We have not spoken in a while. Or if you feel like speaking, just call the friend and say, hey, I want to catch up, are you free? Or something like that. What is the ego response here? Let me not call the friend. When they want to talk to me, they will talk to me, etc. Right? You start to withdraw, and the logic inside is, if that person really values me, they will do this, they will contact me, they will reach out to me. When the friend calls, you might not pick up their phone, say get lost. Now you have not valued me for a week or a month or something. Now this one phone call is not enough, you have to do more, etc., etc. Can you see how it's oscillating between Avishesha and Vishesha? So these are key traps. Your ego is not going to remain in one place. It's going to express itself in many, many ways. But know this, that it is not it's actually a bad solution. It's a suboptimal solution to a problem which you have. It's actually trying to help you. Great. So this is the first part of the video. I hope you found this content like relatable and useful. Now at the end of the video, just like when you're done with the video, just spend time, or if you're not able to do it now, at the end of the day, or first thing in the morning, take 5 minutes, spend time going through how your ego expresses itself. Just watch yourself throughout the day. Okay, so this you're not, the intention here is to not catch it and stop it, is just to observe. It's just to learn about yourself. So take time and start learning about your own ego. In the next video, we are going to look at how you can make this ego into your absolute best friend and allow your ego to help you grow to be the person you've always wanted to be. Great. So if you like the contents of this channel, please subscribe. I really could use your support. And if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you have anything to say about this video, leave it in the comment section. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I'll go through it. If you want me to make videos on any other particular topic that you can bring value to your life, please let me know and I'll get to work on it. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care. Bye bye.